Penguins. Adorable, charismatic, flightless birds. But what penguin Pokemon are there? Well, we have Piplup and its evolution Prinplup, but there's also Eskew, a very unusual looking penguin Pokemon to say the least, because of its, well, giant ice cube for a head. But is there a real-life animal that is like this unusual-looking Pokemon? Join me as I'm out and about playing Pokemon Go on a rather chilly day as we look into the real-life world of Pokemon and the amazing animals that are like real-life Pokemon. So you ready? Join that safari and let's get started. I need to get moving. It's a little chilly out. So first things first, my biggest pet peeve, let's get it out of the way. Penguins live in the southern hemisphere and polar bears live in the northern hemisphere. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, all of the penguin species live in the southern hemisphere. However, not all penguins are associated with, say, cold, wintry, icy weather. So that's gonna help us narrow down which penguin is most like Eskew. So out of the roughly 17 species of penguin, and why I say roughly is a whole other topic for a Shelby on Safari video, comes down to classification and if it's a subspecies or a species in of its own right. But out of those 17, only about 7 call Antarctica their home. Well, for at least part of the time. So that's quite helpful in figuring out which one might be most like Eskew. And out of those 7 species of penguin, I'm pleased to say that none of them have a giant ice cube for a head. However, there is one species in particular that does stand out. I'm trying to be diplomatic here, guys. In terms of its facial features, the Adelie penguin. I mean, take a look at these guys. Aren't they adorable? But also rather unusual looking? With that white band around their eyes. They graced scientists with their presence in 1840. Or I should say be discovered in 1840, but they're so cute, so they grace us with their presence. And since then have captivated humans ever since, with their unusual faces, charismatic personality, and some seriously impressive swimming skills. Now, scientists happen to know quite a bit about the Adelie penguin during the more summer months, which of course in the southern hemisphere tends to be between October and February. However, during the winter is when the Adelie penguins go out to sea, and it's a little bit trickier to study these guys when they're out there. While they may look rather clumsy on land and not always have the surest of footing, when it comes to the water, they are anything but clumsy. Not only are they fantastic swimmers, but divers as well. It's been discovered that the Adelie penguin can dive to up to 575 feet. Whoa! That's impressive. Not to mention that they are willing to go the distance for food if necessary. One thing that I can certainly relate to. The Adelie penguin has been known to travel up to 185 miles round trip to get food. I'd happily do that for a nice breakfast burrito in Seal Beach right now. But I hear you asking, Safari Squad, what does the Adelie penguin eat? Well, mostly krill, which every time I say krill, I think of that scene in Finding Nemo. Swim away! Also, sometimes they eat small fish and even little tiny squids. Now, when it comes time to actually getting in the water, the Adelie penguin has quite unusual behavior. They'll surround themselves by all of their buddies and wait on the edge, very hesitant to go in the water. They'll all cluster close and hope that one of their other compadres will accidentally fall into the water first to see if the water is safe, say, from potential predators like leopard seals, or I guess in the case of Eskew, dugong? So with this in mind, I don't think I would make a good Adelie penguin, because whenever I go to the ocean, the rest of the family isn't even out of the car and I'm already in the water. Now, it turns out that the predators of the Adelie penguin are all in the water. There's leopard seals, killer whales, and whatnot. But on land, there's nobody, which is why they're rather curious when it comes to people on their turf down in Antarctica, which made me think of Eskew. In particular, in the Pokemon franchise, people tend to love Eskew when it has its no ice form, because they think its expression is rather cute, which to me makes me rather stressed seeing it without an ice cube on its face. And that's because of its biology. Eskew can produce cold cold air from its head to create ice that forms around its head to protect it from heat. And notice the hair sticking out of Escu's head? That's used to attract prey and looks rather adorable. Now, it turns out this ice on Escu's head comes in handy when they're out swimming. They tend to be quite easygoing Pokemon and have often been seen floating in the oceans with just their heads popping on the surface, which is one of the main reasons why I thought of the Adelie Penguin, not only because their unique face, but their relationship with ice. Just like Escu relies on ice to protect its head and help it float out in the sea, the Adelie Penguin relies on ice in a bit of a different way, but nonetheless important. Scientists in recent years have been looking into this relationship between the Adelie Penguin and reproductive success, and even as recent as 2020, the potential impacts of reducing sea ice on the population of Adelie penguins in the long term. Suffice to say, it's not looking good. One recent study looked at how the Adelie penguin's reproductive success is linked to different types of sea ice. For example, nearshore ice is not so good for breeding success in Adelie penguins. There's still a lot to be discovered within this relationship, but it's evident already just how important role it plays for these penguins. I encourage you to check out the links below to read the studies for yourself. They're fascinating. So, what do you think? Is Escu like the Adelie penguin? And would you like to see a what real life animal is like Piplup video? Well, guess what? You're in luck. I did one already, along with all the other starters to celebrate the release of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl. So go on, click it. It's right here. I'll see you over there. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and get warm because it's cold. Not nearly icy, but for Californian, cold enough. Oh! I need my camera.